you want to talk about a Roth IRA when you're securities licensed is why. Do you think they know what a Roth truly is? But they've heard of it, and they want to know. So you'll get something from that, and you'll create value, which is our business. Create value. All right? Then you go to once, believe it. Oh, this is crazy. What do you think happens when you save for an emergency fund every single month? Yes, who said that? Love that. Nicely done. You actually have one. So then what I teach families is, okay, once this is taken care of, now you split the money between the house account and your wealth building account. So if you were putting 400 in before, now you're going 200 in, 200 there. Do you realize how much people just appreciate that? Like structure? You create structure for them because they don't know what to do. And is this complicated? No. If you think about it right now, when I'm done today, you'll be able to walk out knowing that you know more than 90% of the people out there. How valuable does that make each and every one of you? Don't miss it. It's real. It was good that we had the whole room say no, because it's usual, and you'll see it time and time again. All right, so bypass the middleman. You know this is what we do. So we teach families that the banks, the credit unions, they want to give us they want to guarantee a very low rate of return for us, which means that they're going to make a whole lot of money with our money. All right, so next one. Raise your hand if you've ever been in a class that taught you about investing. We might have a hand or two. Okay, I figure we might. Okay, at school. Oh, no. Keep it to school. Keep it to school. All right, not bad. Okay, that's good for the schools. You guys want to do a good job. All right, but that was 2 out of maybe 40, 50. I don't know how many are in the room. Right, put that in perspective. So when you look at investing, this is just a quick thing. This is just to arm you with the facts, and then you get to feel more confident about when you're talking and learning this business that you're helping people in a way more than they could ever imagine. 10 years. The last 10 years, this is from April. With the stock market crash, do you think that that people understand that if they had their money invested, this is in the S&P 500, which I'm not going to go into detail, but when you hear the market, it's the Dow. Don't worry about it. This is just, how many people have heard of the S&P 500? Keep your hand up if you know exactly what it is. Yeah, that was me until like 3 years ago. No, I'm serious. Like you shouldn't know it because it's not something they teach us. What it does is it looks at the top 500 larger companies in our country and ranks them and puts them in this group that are a good barometer of the economy. That's all you need to know. Like as they go, that's how the economy goes. So if you invested just in that alone, you would have doubled your money in the last 10 years, right? Rule of 72, 8 goes into 72 9 times. So in 9 years it doubled. It's on its way to doubling again. Now, go through 2010. The year 2000. Go 20 years back. What do you expect to happen? Well, you might think it's going to go up. But, by the way, jot this down. I'm going to give you pearls. Dan Hartley told me this. In 2000, you know what happened in 2000? The dot-com bubble. Just write 2000 dot-com bubble. I trust you. It's going to be valuable, priceless later on when you have. For those of you that have security license, hold on to that. Great conversation piece. For those of you that don't, just know it'll be something valuable later on. In 2001, guess what happened? 9/11. 2002, we had all those accounting scandals. Enron, nicely done. WorldCom. And all you have to do is throw that phraseology out and get the client to know that investing has a downside. Except they don't understand investing, and you're going to teach them a better way. Because it's not just the market. But the craziest part, and why I brought it up there, is because now, if you think about it logically, you had 08, which was a crash, and then you had 3 down years in a row that were worse than the crash, which most people don't realize. That you lost more money in those 3 years than you did in 08. But over the last 20 years, you made 9.3. This is another thing that I use. I'm trying to give you as many pearls as I can. When it comes to the world of investing, do you think your clients associate investing with gambling? Be honest. Absolutely, right? Gambling. They think high-price gambling. What you watch on the news, oh my gosh, are you kidding me? Oh, this guy's falling, oh my gosh. And that's what we think. Now, the crazy part about the conversation is, when you look at investing, and this is like the S&P 500, which is called equity, and I'm going to teach you about that in a second, it's the exact opposite of gambling. And these are conversations I have at the kitchen table. People give me their money. Why? Because they should. No, they should. Because I'm going to teach them and take care of it. The cool part is, and I know this is crazy, but in the beginning, you're going to go to the people that know. And eventually, guess what? You'll know. And whenever you need resources, if they're not around, there's brains to access. You call up your wholesalers. They want to help you in the worst way. They'll answer every question you have under the sun. That's the beauty of our business. Now, when you look at that 20-year period, told that AD day, there it went. Okay. Trying to remember, where was I? Somebody help me, cue me up. Oh, thank you. That's perfect. So now, if I went to AC, or if I went to Vegas, or if I went to Parks Casino, pick one, and I decided that for the next 20 years, I was going to gamble, baby, every day. Every day I was going to go gamble. I don't know, craps, pick the game. What do you like? Am I coming out a winner 20 years from now? Do you know there's never been a down period, a down 20-year period, ever in the market? How's that for getting your clients to say, whoa, all right, maybe I do need to learn a little something, something here, because I didn't know that. Do you think they know that? They only know what's on the news. And when it becomes a good time to invest, they've already missed the boat. Do you think your clients realize that the people that you're sitting with, your future clients, if they're not clients yet, that in the last 6 years, they would have averaged probably over 15% on their money? Do you think they know that? But our economy's in the toilet. How's that possible? The student debt is at an all-time high. China's taking over? How is that possible? No, it's real, though. You have to understand, what's on the news is not real. They are only highlighting the negative aspects because that draws us in. If you took time, and I have these conversations with clients, part of what I'm having with you, have these conversations, they appreciate it. It's a breath of fresh air. Because they realize, oh my gosh, I've been, not duped, but I've been tunnel visioned, I've been like channeled in a way that I've never learned what I needed to know. But that's why they have you. Because now they'll know. So, and now it gets better. Last 30 years, ooh, 11%. If you have a client say, if you ever showed them the rule of 70, where can you get 12%? Come on, where can you get 12? No, I'm not, listen, I don't sit with my clients and I don't tell them that they're going to get 12%, but you know what? It's a real possibility. It's not pie in the sky. It's not like you got to get lucky. It's part of life, and especially the longer. The longer I go, 40 years, a work career, 11 and a half. That's too bad. And this is for the index. I'm going to talk about this before I'm done. By the way, clock me. Give me an idea what I'm doing on clock. Okay. And then the last 80 years, over your lifetime, work career, 11 and a half. I don't know about you, but this was never taught to me. I didn't know this. My wife didn't know this for sure. Why? Because at 23 years old, they asked her, well, are you, from an investment standpoint, you have 3 options. You can be conservative, moderate, or aggressive. Which one best fits you? What do you think she said? No, my wife's conservative. She said conservative. And the reality is, it cost us tens of thousands of dollars because for the 13 years that money grew, it did nothing. Because it was set up for somebody who was like 5 years out of retirement. But, you know, guess what? And she too is educated. Doesn't matter. This I had to put in here. I saw this. The cool part about this company is as you do more and conquer those fears, they send you on trips. So last year was the Magic Ride, and this year hasn't stopped. Last year we went to Hawaii. We went to the Greenbrier, all courtesy of this wonderful company. And we went to La Costa, which is in California, which of the 3, believe it or not, you'd think Hawaii would be the one I liked the most. La Costa was unbelievable. I don't know. So, cool stuff, right? And then they just sent us to San Fran in June, last month. So, June 10th. Anyway, cool stuff. I saw this at the Greenbrier, and then they took it off the video. Like, you can't do this to me. This was like one of the most empowering things I've ever seen. Look at this grid. This is bull versus bear market. So bull, those people that are going to be in securities class, right? Bulls claw things up, bears claw things down. Bull market goes up, bear market goes down. Take a look at, this is from Jerry Kearns, editor-in-chief of Morningstar, so I got it from as good a source as you could possibly get. People are afraid of investing. This is a down market, and this was the crash, which obviously they've changed legislature to make it much more challenging for that to ever happen again. Because those of you that don't know your history, they were just like, nobody was checking to make sure that any of the information was correct. So people were putting money in companies that didn't exist. That's the crash. So that's the reality. You should know the education. 6 months, down 21%. 6 months, down 22%. 19 months, down 29%. And if you can't see, it's going from the 30s to the current day. 21 months, down 42%. 3 months, down 29%. 25 months, down 44%. 16 months, down 50%. You know what? If you just looked at that, there's a good reason not to invest. But look at the bull market. in 167 months, you had an 815% return. So your 10 grand turned into $81,000. Okay, right? In this one, it's 181 months of a bull market. Your 10 grand turned into, if it was 100 grand, turned into $935,000. Not too shabby. And then 77 months, they have 143%, 75%. And then you look at what's happened, 845% here, 816% here, only 108% here, only doubles your money. And we're on a run, and people say, oh, it's got to be correcting. It's got to happen, right? All right, another fact I want to give you. Who knows what happened in 73 and 74? So two terrible down years. For those of us that have lived it, I think probably a couple of us in the room. Anyway, but the fact is, for those of us that lived through it, there was all this crazy stuff going on in the world at that point. Well, the crazy part about it is, if you think about what happened next, from 1975 to 1981, those 6 years were all up years, actually 7 years, all up years. What do you think the investor was saying right then and there? 7 years in a row, the market's roaring. What's got to happen, guys? What you need to know is the history. From 75 to 89, we had 15 up years in the market. The market averaged over 16%. So for those of us that maybe are a little nervous, like, I don't know if this is a good time to invest, it's always a good time to invest. The reality is if you're in it for long, and if you're properly allocated, if you're not in it for long, it's still always a good time to invest. Do we get taught this? Wouldn't this help us a little bit? Yes. Okay. How do I teach clients about investing? Why are so many people afraid of investing? We just went through it. Fear and lack of knowledge. That's why we are afraid. So we have to overcome that. How do we make the difference? Teach them what they need to know. Have them tell us what makes sense. Now that's an art that if you haven't developed it yet, that happens over time. It's not me telling somebody what needs to happen. It's them telling me what needs to happen. And that's the art that you develop and you stick close to Aaron and the people that are already there. Because they know it. They know it well. You can't, we know what we do for people is going to change their lives, and it's as good as it gets. But they don't. They're still nervous. Change in general, people are afraid of. So you need to help be good at having a conversation so they make the changes that are going to change them for life, for the better. All right, so here it is. This is me and how I have my conversation at the kitchen table when it's related to investing. Every client that I come back, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to show them what we should be doing with their money. I say, listen, there's 5 rules to investing. Have you ever, and I don't even ask this part, I just go through it. These are the 5 rules that I go through with every portfolio. Question?
So you count the rules that you use the rules that you slide?
It's coming up now.
It's
coming up now. The good news is, yeah, it's coming up now. So let me go through it. Rule 72, I write this down on the paper, and then I go through the rule 72. Then I write down diversification, and I show them what that means. And then I go through dollar cost averaging, and I know I'm killing you with the GoPro, so sorry. The dollar cost averaging, and then asset allocation and rebalancing. This I got from Tom Forster. I don't know if you got it from someone else, but it's definitely made me more influential. I've helped more people in ways that I didn't even know I could. Why? Because I mastered this conversation. It's really neat when you think about it, man. You can actually help people in a way that's significant because you learned something that wasn't. Now, was it comfortable with in the beginning? No. Are you probably going to be comfortable with it again? No. But it's worth the work. I promise you, it's worth the work. If you want to make a difference, you want to make a difference for your teammates, you want to make a difference for your families, you want to make a difference for the families you serve, it's worth the work. So, start with simple insight. I already taught you this one, right? Savings, 10% is stability, 20% as well. I start with this. This is before I go into the Rule 72. I write the Rule 72 at the top of the paper. And like Aaron talks about recruiting, and he kind of looks at it and goes, great, I did it. I say, you know what, before I get started, as if I missed it, I do it every time. Before I get started, from a savings standpoint, has anybody ever taught you percentage-wise how much you should be saving? And then I'll jot this down on the paper for them because they'll tell me no, like the whole room did. The Rule 72. What is it? We all know, right? You teach the client. I write percentage, divided by, bam, they go through. I like $2,000. I like 22. Why? Because it matches everything we've been talking about. Who do I want to sit with? Everybody. What do I want? Referrals. That's all I get paid is referrals. Obviously, we make money through the companies that work with, thankfully they don't charge the client anymore if they want to do it themselves. Isn't this a brilliant system to be working in? One that's consumer friendly and friendly for us. What do I charge? Just introduce me to people that could benefit from what I do. I want to sit down with 20-something-year-olds because 20-something-year-olds are the future of my business. Are they going to save a lot? Yes, and I'll show you if we have time, definitely for the gamers afterwards. I'll show you another conversation I have related to how you build a business just with this. Just by making 1 day a week towards saving for people. Like you focus on saving and you make it a priority. And you'll explode your business at the same time. So I have a conversation, you might want to write this down because it's not in the slideshow. And it's not anywhere that I'm going to be showing you, so you really should write this down. I draw out on a piece of paper, I draw out right here, or you don't have to draw it out, you can just ask them, where do you think you can get 3% on your money over your lifetime? They're not, right, they might answer you, they might not, don't sweat it, just give me the answer. So you know what, savings accounts is someplace, not now, joke with them how bad it is. You get point something in your savings account. Most of them don't even know how, they know it's bad, they just don't know how bad. And then the other one, and I will write this down because this is, remember, this is the Jimmy Penn conversation. This is all click for me. Everything's changed business-wise because now I'm owning a business. Before I was a personal producer. The next thing I did was you say stable value fund. Are you guys familiar with stable value fund? Ask them that. They're going to say that. Say it's inside your 401k. It's a guaranteed account. You can't lose money in that account. And they'll give you 3%. And then you go through the rule 72, and I see 3 goes into 72, yada, yada, yada. I bring up 22. I say, listen. 22, most people by the time they're 22, they're into the workforce, right? And I go through it and I show them 8,000, and they're like, wow. And then I ask them a question. I say, how do you feel about retirement if you only have $8,000? That's my question. It's all question driven. It's a real conversation. And guess what they tell me? Not too good. Ain't happy. Okay, good. 6%. We're going to get 6% on your money. I tell them over your lifetime. CDs, which is real. By the way, I did the stats on this. I'm a numbers guy. I'm crazy with this stuff. So 6%, 5 and change is what you'll see if you look at the lifetime CDs. At least for I ran it into the 70s. And same thing for money markets. So I write here CDs and money markets because that's real. And I tell them it's not quite 6%, but enough for this conversation. And then I show them how we double our money